I tend a very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us. This is Easy Friday. On this day, the 13th day of September 2024. I don't know whether you're superstitious or not, but there's always a vibe about the 13th being on a Friday. But that's nothing of any importance of what we're talking about tonight. We're bringing you an update of the news that's been shaping up tonight. But before we get to that, do you wonder why I have an empty seat on the set? Wonder no more. Because Easy Friday has another face. Well, not a very new face. Welcome to this at Caren, Kibbett.
Thank you very much, Kago, for having me. Yes, good evening to all our viewers. Welcome to Easy Friday. I am Caren Kibbett, and I am absolutely thrilled to make my debut as your main news anchor tonight. It's an exciting transition, and I couldn't be happier to share the moment with you. It's a special moment for me, and even more so as we mark 2 years of the Kenya Kwanza administration. Tonight, I'm so glad I don't have to do this alone. It's good to be here and on this side of this set, Kago.
Also, welcome. It's a pretty good side of the set, and I'm looking forward to a great roller coaster.
Thank you so much, Kago.
That's it. Comprehensive coverage of the news that's been shipping up tonight. Well, the acting Inspector General of Police, Gilbert Masengeli, has been convicted for contempt of court, but there's a catch, though. Well, Justice Mugambi suspending that particular ruling, giving Masengeli time to go and obey court orders. Looking at that and other stories that have been shaping up tonight. First things first, I love to call it the Bud's View of Easy Friday. These are the highlights. Senators call for cancellation of JKIA lease deal to Adani, saying it's shrouded in mystery. Acting Police Inspector General Gilbert Masengeli sentenced to 6 months in prison for contempt of court. Kenya and Germany sign migration labor agreement that will see German companies hire Kenyan skilled workers. And the hits and the misses focus on the Kenya Kwanza government performance 2 years on.
Welcome back to Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter is Brian Moraru. Now, Acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli has been sentenced to 6 months in prison for contempt of court. Well, the court found him guilty for snubbing several court summons. The acting IG was required to appear in court to explain the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of an activist, Bob Njagi, and 2 brothers who were abducted on the 19th of August during the anti-government protests in Kitengela.
Well, that story begins our coverage of Easy Friday tonight.
Acting Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli has found himself on the wrong side of the law after Justice Lawrence Mugambi slapped him with a 6-month jail term. The court further ordered Masengeli to submit himself to the Commissioner General of Prisons and serve the prison sentence.
Mr. Masengeli is ordered to submit himself to the Commissioner General of Kenya Prisons to ensure that he is to be committed to a prison facility to commence serving sentence of the imprisonment imposed.
Judge Mugambi has ruled that in the event that Masengeli fails to surrender himself to prison, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki must take steps to ensure he is committed to the prison facility.
Orders and decisions issued by a court bind all persons to whom and organs of state to which they apply, and no person or organ of the state may interfere in any manner with the function of the courts. It follows from this that disobedience towards court orders or decisions risks rendering our courts impotent and judicial authority a mere mockery.
He has, however, given the option of avoiding the sentence if he presents himself to court within the next 7 days.
The Acting Inspector General of Police can redeem himself and comply by availing himself before this court in person to answer to the issues he has been avoiding. In default, the sentence shall automatically become effective.
Masengeli was required to appear in court to explain the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of 3 missing persons who were allegedly abducted a month ago in Kitengela. The judge also discharged the head of VIP unit, Lazarus Opicho, who he had summoned to appear in court to explain why he had called his bodyguard and driver last weekend to inquire on his whereabouts. Opicho told Justice Mugambi that he was not calling them in bad faith, but rather wanted to know whether he is safe or needs more security. While discharging him, Mugambi warned him against using proxies to reach him and instead call him directly.
It is a win for the rule of law, and as the Law Society of Kenya, we are proud that this case will set a precedent for all public officers who hold those offices on behalf of the Kenyan people, that they have a duty to comply with court orders.
Well, senators have called for the cancellation of the lease deal of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport between the Adani Business Group and the Kenyan government on the airport upgrade project.
The senators who had summoned Cabinet Secretary for Roads and Transport Davis Chirchir to shed more light on the controversial deal said the deal was shrouded with mystery, raising concerns on the tendering, due diligence processes and the fraud allegations of the Adani Business Group.
Well, and as Kamuche Menza reports, the Cabinet Secretary Chirchir maintained that there is no binding agreement reached yet.
Due diligence on the suitability of the Adani Business Group to proceed with the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport upgrade project took center stage as the CS for Roads and Transport Davis Chirchir, accompanied by his Principal Secretary Mohamed Daga and Kenya Airports Authority Acting Managing Director Henry Ogoye, appeared before senators Friday.
You have sent a team to India, but in your response you say you do not provide this committee with information on who the shareholders are.
The shareholding chair is something that cannot be left and it must be disclosed. We will have to do it during this due diligence.
Management and operation of JKIA as an airport.
Yes.
From the aeronauticals to the parking areas, to all the businesses that are going on there, who is going to be doing that management?
Yes, Adani is an operator, and that is why the model is build, operate, transfer. They will be running the JKIA.
Everything.
Yes.
Senators also sought to know from the CS about his opinion on the fraud allegations and integrity concerns on the Adani company.
It talks about Adani itself, and it talks about relatives, almost 8 of them. How they conned people, how they conned even taxes, on taxes.
All the information, negative, positive, will help us to really ensure that we do a thorough due diligence, and it is a process ongoing now. To the extent, Chair, that we cancelled the deal. We don't have a deal. We're just negotiating.
The Karungo Thangwa-led team also took issue with the tendering process.
Why would you prefer privately initiated investment as opposed to open tendering process? Is this a case of money laundering?
The PPP process is basically an on-off, what do you call, a negotiation process. And you don't negotiate by, you do documents. And to an extent that we don't agree and they are deal breakers for us, then we can collapse.
The verdict of Kenyans on the Adani deal is that there is no deal and there should be no deal. And we are privileged to be here, Mr. CS, to deliver the message to you.
I want to urge you very strongly. Cancel this thing. You will not, even with your best efforts, be able to convince anyone in Kenya today that this is a deal that is above board. Let us go back to public procurement when it comes to this particular deal.
Kamche Menza for Easy Friday.
Thank you, Kamche, for that report. Moving on, traders at the famous Marikiti and Muthuro markets have agreed to relocate to the modern Kangundo Road market.
Well, that move is aimed at decongesting and restoring order in Nairobi's bustling markets, which has become overcrowded with the capacity now being 3 times the intended capacity of 1,200 traders.
The move follows a meeting between Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja and traders from Muthuro Muthurwa and Marikiti, dealing in onions, potatoes, oranges, and pineapples.
Well, Sakaja saying that particular move is essential for restoring order in the city.
Sakaja used the occasion to announce a 2-month waiver on cess payments typically collected by the county from traders. Nairobi police boss Adamson Bungei, who was also in attendance, assured the traders of their safety during the transition, saying his team will ensure a seamless transition.
That our intention is for our business people to work in an environment that is good, an environment that looks at the interests of everybody, not just those traders, but also our pedestrians, also those with vehicular traffic. So we want to ask our traders to, even as they continue plying their business, to understand that this is a cooperation between ourselves and between the traders at our market. We are looking at further land, 5.4 acres, that had been earmarked for expansion of the market. We are pursuing that. The process had begun to make sure that, because the city is growing, the market is growing, and all we want is to provide opportunities. We said we wanted a city of order, dignity, hope, and opportunities. The opportunities can be sought in an orderly manner.
We promise to work with those who are within the city or within the markets to ensure that law and order is well maintained in those areas. So you are free to visit the markets because of the safety that is there, and we assure you, by providing security, both the national police and the county government officers who will be enforcing order in that area.
Well, 2 years in office, President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza administration. We are looking at the hits and the misses, a comprehensive coverage of that for the next couple of stories. So let's get it on with it. 2 years in office. President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza administration boasts of reduced food prices, including prices of maize flour, occasioned by subsidized fertilizer, about 200,000 job opportunities created in the affordable housing program, and a strengthened shilling against the dollar.
However, many infrastructural projects remain unfinished, as the government says. The Kenya Kwanza manifesto has a 5-year implementation plan.
However, the ruling party UDA leadership says court petitions on projects and withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024 have largely affected the implementation of key projects.
With due honesty, believe very strongly that Kenya Kwanza is the first popularly elected government in Kenya that has endeavored to implement its manifesto, the plan.
Tumshangilie Mheshimiwa Rais kwa makofi anapopokea kitara hichi.
Exactly 2 years in office, the affordable housing project under the bottom-up economic agenda remains at the core of President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza administration, although thousands of launch housing units are still under construction.
Within the cumulative period of the Kenya Kwanza government intends to deliver about 2 million units. I think we are steadily on course. The Uhuru government, in talking of its big four, I don't think delivered even 4,000 to 5,000 houses over the 5-year period.
Just remember that this project has actually faced a lot of challenges. Number one, people have gone to court, stalled until we had to redo the law so that we created a fund where the money will actually go. It has actually been stopped severally. We've had problems. It actually has faced a lot of litigation.
The project has so far employed about 160,000 Kenyans. The ruling party UDA leadership says court petitions challenging various government projects and withdrawal of Finance Bill 2024 has largely affected the implementation of the key projects.
It's one of the biggest decisions this government has ever made, and William Ruto, to show that he's a man who's responsive, who is willing to listen, who has now come back to the public and said, okay, minus the finance bill, how else can we creatively fund our economy? There are 2 ways to raise revenue, that you take debt or you raise taxes. So these are the kind of dilemmas we are always faced with.
Moreover, in a bid to fulfill the campaign promise of creating jobs for millions of unemployed youth, the government is seeking to exploit digital jobs by providing digital hubs in every constituency. The project, which has however not been fully realized yet, is targeting to create 180,000 digital jobs in 2024. The Ruto administration has also turned to Labour Export Program aimed at looking for more job opportunities abroad. Further, in a bid targeting to provide small-scale traders with cheaper loans of low interest rates of 8%, President Ruto launched the popular Hustler Fund in November 2022. According to the State Department for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, the Hustler Fund had lent 57 billion Kenyan shillings to 24 million borrowers. As of September 2024, however, only 46 billion Kenyan shillings has been repaid, with 14 million borrowers classified as defaulters, failing to repay 11 billion shillings.
A lot of people will tell you, the Hustler Fund hiyo pesa ni kidogo. That means you have got better places to borrow. We are not targeting you. It's targeting the people at the best. I'm talking about the people who wake up in the morning and wanaenda kuzunguka town kutafuta kitu yoyote ya kufanya. We are trying to give them a little bit of mobility, a little bit of traction, a little bit of wings to fly to ensure that they can also grow.
In line with access to service online, the Kenya Kwanza administration has onboarded about 17,000 government services to the eCitizen platform. The government is also boasting of a stable and stronger shilling, currently standing at 129 shillings against the dollar, compared to 160 shillings per dollar in January 2024, hence lowering the cost of imports, including food commodities. Although he has been criticized for his numerous foreign trips that hit 62 visits to 38 countries in 20 months, as of June 2024, the president has been credited by allies for putting Kenya on a global map. The climax, according to his party officials, was the state visit to the United States in March 2024, which marked 60 years of US-Kenya bilateral relations. Apart from trade deals worth billions of shillings, President Joe Biden designated Kenya as a major non-NATO ally, becoming the first sub-Saharan nation to receive the status and the fourth in Africa after Egypt, Morocco and Tunisia. The Kenya Kwanza administration is also keen to plant 15 billion trees by 2032, a move targeting to tackle climate change.
We are working so hard to move the tree cover from 12.8% to 30% by 2032. We are supposed to be planting at least 1.5 billion tree seedlings or trees every year. We are behind target, or of course, as we speak now, we have an estimated over up to 500 billion already done. We want to green our environment.
Political pundits say President William Ruto's government has faced several bottlenecks in his second year in office, key among them the unprecedented dissolution of the cabinet, several incidents of industrial action, claims of an increase in police brutality, the controversial university funding model, and at least 2 national blackouts.
Well, and as the government marks 2 years in office, our reporter Joseph Wahungu examines some of the misses by the government, as told from the eyes of political analysts.
Exactly 2 years ago, President William Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua took oath of office, charting a new political dispensation in the country's history. Whereas his first year in office was largely uneventful, his second year was dotted by political, social, economical, and legal challenges. His lowest moment was on the 11th of July 2024, when he was forced to fire his entire cabinet.
I have this to say to Kenyans. I have heard you, and I have heard you clearly.
This was as a result of the youth-led protest that resulted in the rejection of the entire finance bill. The rejection of the bill birthed a new political dispensation, leading to the formation of the broad-based government.
The list I sent to the National Assembly, I have since amended so that Roslinda Soipan Tuya now goes to the Ministry of Defense. The Honorable Aden Baredwale moves to Environment, Climate Change, and Forestry.
Governance expert Professor Fred Ogola, in analysing the government's second year in office, faulted the then cabinet for failing to address issues of concern to Kenyans.
the policies are not wrong. It's the people that the president came into office with. Remember also why there's a problem here in the country is that Ruto came in with promises that were as big as an elephant. But the delivery has been as poor as a mouse.
His sentiments were echoed by political analyst Oscar Mondi, who says the government must find a lasting solution to the country's high cost of living and unemployment.
Everybody is feeling the pinch because of whatever policies that are in place, and this has happened for the last 2 years. The breaking point, the culmination of this was those Gen Z protests, because we are trying to manage a debt and at the same time against service delivery.
Additionally, pundits warn the government risks facing more challenges in its third year should it fail to heed to experts' views.
What needs to be done is that people need to start coming with economic solution and presenting them to the president and tell him, this is the solution. Those sectors, for example, agricultural sector, let them sit down and come with a proposal because the guy is not thinking about it, and then present this proposal to the presidency.
It's too much top-down, like, hivi najua, hiyo mambo ya kuuza airport, hiyo tunajua. Hiyo mambo ya wakulima, hiyo tunajua. Hii mambo ya debt, we know this. Get me right.
Joseph Ohungu for Easy Friday.
Well, now the Kenya Kwanza administration came to power by heavily campaigning against handshakes and has undergone unprecedented changes 2 years into office.
Immediately after being sworn into office, defections and new alliances have continued to shape and reshape the balance of power at the helm of the Kenya Kwanza coalition.
Well, it is, however, the entry of key opposition figures into government following the Gen Z protests that has altered the political landscape, leading to the formation of a broad-based government.
Our reporter Gladys Mungai with more on the political dynamism 2 years into the tenure of the ruling Kenya Kwanza coalition.
As the ruling coalition marks 2 years in office, one thing remains evident, that the political landscape is shifting in ways that a few people could have predicted just a few years ago.
Had not anticipated it. But of course, as a leader or as a person in leadership positions, I believe decisions are made every step of the way.
The ruling party heavily campaigned against handshakes, but less than 2 years into office, shifts that are reshaping the nation's political future have been experienced.
What has happened in the case of the broad-based, and a lot of people from ODM have alluded to it, is that although it has cooled temperatures in the country, it has not answered or solved any of the problems Kenyans are facing.
The recent protests by the youth, popularly known as Gen Z, appear to have pushed the government into concession on grounds of bad governance and corruption, among others.
Issues such as opulence in government, issues such as matters such as disalienation of the public by the political class has not been solved and needs to be solved.
The weekly protest saw the president forced to fire his entire cabinet.
Decided to dismiss with immediate effect all the cabinet secretaries and attorney general of the Republic of Kenya, of the Cabinet of Kenya.
The result was the entry of ODM diehards into the government, leading to the formation of a broad-based government. A broad-based government that has elicited mixed reaction among leaders.
Any government, call it broad-based or call it a government of national unity, is good for the country, because there's a sense in which the public feels well represented in that government. So to bring members of the other political divide, to include members of the Orange Democratic Movement, is actually somehow to inject a new set of ideas.
There were demonstrations every Thursday and Tuesday, but now they are no longer there. But I believe the issues raised, everybody, every leader in this country must take stock.
This decision that has seen the ruling party embark
on a development tour to the Luo Nyanza has received praise and condemnation in equal measures.
It is really my hope that in 2027, the Gen Z population will actually come out and impact the elections as it should have done a long time ago.
Equally, after less than a year in office, the coalition witnessed mergers as lawmakers crossed the ranks to give Kenya Kwanza a majority in the August House. The latest official merger being that of Amani National Congress that has dissolved its party to join UDA.
ANC and UDA are parties that have so much that we share in common.
The bicameral parliament has equally undergone changes. This defection have made it easy for government business to sail through the House effortlessly. Members of parliament, however, say the opposition is still exercising its role in the House.
We are going to be very noisy and will highlight every act the government has not fulfilled its promises or has misused public money as assigned.
If they bring pieces of legislation that are not going to have the Kenyan interest at heart, we as the opposition are allowed to actually walk away from this kind of arrangements. As an ODM legislator, I am at liberty to be opposed to any position that may not be pro-Kenyan.
So, of course, by voting no, the president was not happy with me. So I told him, let's forget these things, tusonge mbele pamoja. Tomorrow, if something comes that I feel it is not right for the people of Kenya, I will stand with the people of Kenya. Any day, any time.
As the Kenya Kwanza coalition continues to navigate the political waters, it remains to be seen how the new political shifts will be impacting the country ahead of the 2027 election. Reporting for KBC Channel 1, my name is Gladys Mungai.
Thank you, Gladys Mungai, for that detailed report. Kago?
Absolutely. We're looking at President William Ruto's 2 years in office, and we went to the streets to sample some of your views across different counties, and your views are varied. We're looking at that on the other side of the break. We're back in a moment.
Imerahisishwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
Ni aje mam, umeupdate token meter yetu?
Ai, kuupdate token meter yetu? Hiyo ni nini?
Acha nikuchanue mam. Leta simu yako. So, kuna hii text tulipata from Kenya Power. Kwa hiyo text kuna code 2. Weka code ya kwanza ku reset token meter. Alafu weka code ya pili ku update token meter.
Haya, ni hivyo tu. Wacha niulize wa mama wangu wa chama kama wame update token meter zao, wajipange. Update token meter.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the 9 p.m. Easy Friday Bulletin. Let's continue with the top stories of the day. Divided opinion continues to greet the government's second year in office, with citizens expressing varied views on areas they feel the government has scored highly or poorly in implementing its development agenda.
Well, here is the scorecard of the government's performance from the Court of Public Opinion, as told by residents from various counties.
Unga ulikuwa ni 200, unga kilo 2. Sai unga umeshuka to 130. That's a big step. Manake wananchi sana sana ulilia tumbo. Sukari robo ilikuwa ni 65. Sai sukari imerudi to 30.
Miradi yote ambayo ilikuwa iko incomplete wakati tulirithi kutoka kwa Uhuru Kenyatta imeweza kuendelezwa. Tunaona kama ile bridge ile pale Kibarani ilimalizwa, ile bypass ya Dongo Kundu imekamilika.
Amehakikisha kuna 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic
which is going to enable vijana wanaofanya content, familia ziweze kujidumu kibiashara. Pia tumeona mambo ya climate change mitigation through planting of trees. Amehakikisha anaweka record 15 billion trees. These are going to mitigate climate change.
Bei ya unga imeshuka kidogo, hata kama si sana, imejaribu. He has still worked, but corruption na bana watu wako kando yake bana, anafaa ondoe wengine.
We wouldn't want to stand here and say you didn't do this or you didn't do that. The next 3 years, let it be an impact, 1 for the youth, 2 for the businesses here, and 3 for the individuals who have ideas.
Those funds were supposed to be dispersed when tulikuwa tunaingia shule. Lakini sasa tukiangalia kwa account tunaona pesa bado hazijawekwa na kazi zinawekwa tena, bands zimekuwa hadi bands 5.
Hata kwa radio ukisikia ni kutenga, tutafanya, vijana watafanya kazi. Na mimi hapa sioni manyumba hii kubwa ambayo tunaona wanaonyesha, sioni hapa Lodwa.
Tumeona kama wakazi wa Kakamega ni utele wa chakula walipoamua kupeana mbolea ambayo ilikuwa ya bei rahisi. Wakulima walipanda mimea, wamevuna mahindi iko kwa wingi.
Tumeona akitupatia ile kiti ya Oparanya ile ya waziri, tukasema pila ni kongole kwake. So upande wangu naonelea kwamba kama tunaweza mpatia muda atafanya kazi zaidi na ile ambaye ameahidi wakazi wa Kakamega.
Ma-advisors, mpeni Ruto mwelekeo mzuri ili aongoze nchi vizuri. Tukimpea tu nafasi mzuri, hakika kiongozi wetu anaweza kuwa kiongozi mzuri.
Mgomo kila mahali, moja ni watu wamegoma. Hakuna kitu serikali inasema. Wako tu wanakula huko juu.
Promise ndio mingi. Kitu yenye amefanya yenye tumeona ni affordable house peke yake. Lakini vitu vingine yote hakuna kenye kimeonekana.
Bado mama boga wanaumia, wengi wanauzia kwa barabara, mahali ni very risky. Hata wakati alikuwa hapa mara ya mwisho kwa ile roundabout akiahidi haya, kulikuwa na accident ilikuwa imefanyika hapo. Na aliweza kuahidi ataweza kuwaondoa hapo mara moja na atawatafutia mahali.
Alituambia tumpatie muda, atakuja kujua ama tutapata soko Kirigiti ama hatuna soko juu Kirigiti inaanga soko. Lakini hajairudi.
Wacha tuseme tu anajaribu. Juu hakuna kitu inafanyikanga kwa siku moja, hakuna mabadiliko inaweza fanyika kwa siku moja. Kila kitu ni jani.
Alitupatia 90 days hata hii barabara itatengenezwa, na ukiangalia hii barabara ni kama shamba. Kwa hivyo serikali hatuoni kazi inafanya, ni siasa tupu, siasa bila kazi.
Ajenda zote zile alitaja hapa Isiolo, yote hakuna hata moja imetimia. Sisi tuko hivyo tu, ni kama tuko gishani.
Alikuwa anatuambia sisi kama wale watu wa chini tutainuka tuendelee kuenda juu, lakini kwa mpaka saa hii sisi bandara ya kuinuka tunaendelea kuvifia kwa maana kila kitu imepanda.
Kwani alisahau sile agenda ama ile maendeleo alisema atatufanyia?
Tumeona kama stadium Masinde Muliro pia imeweza kuwa pale na tunaona ni nzuri sana, ikikamilika vizuri naona hata Nyayo haitafikia, na namaanisha kwamba tutakuwa tuna attract michezo mingi sana katika Bungoma County.
Kitu ya kwanza ametusaidia hapa, Nzoia amesunguka, sasa tunapewa kwa salary kidogo. Kitu ya pili, Mheshimiwa President Rais William Ruto wakati amekuja Bungoma amefungua hiyo uwanja wetu Masinde Muliro, sasa iko kwa standard. Amefungua airstrip Matulo iko.
The government is calling for concerted efforts in tackling air pollution in the country. This comes in the wake of increased respiratory illnesses recorded in various health facilities across the country, which have been attributed to air pollution.
Well, Environment and Climate Change Principal Secretary, Engineer Festus Ngeno, noted that the government will utilize innovative technologies in reducing the high poisonous emissions being released in the atmosphere. The Principal Secretary was speaking during the launch of air quality monitoring sites at the Mama Lucy Hospital here in the capital.
Two major sources of air pollution in most urban areas are transportation and fuel combustion by stationary sources. However, motor vehicle emission seems to be the dominant source of air pollutants. NEMA is going to gazette vehicle emission testing as we roll out air quality regulation this year.
At the moment, we are looking at black carbon and PM 2.5, particulate matter that you can breathe and they can go to your lungs without any filter, and they can go straight from the lungs to the bloodstream. Those are the things that we are most concerned about.
This monitoring science will serve as a foundation upon which we can build more effective policies and interventions. With reliable data, we will be better positioned to identify pollution hotspots, track pollution trends, and take swift action to reduce harmful emissions.
We'll provide Nairobi with the most accurate, real-time data available, enabling us to identify sources of pollution, track trends, and make data-driven decisions to protect our citizens.
While we could say that maybe some neighborhoods are better than others, the bottom line is the air we breathe doesn't know that difference. So it is a collective responsibility to ensure that we maintain the quality of air that we breathe.
Having had this tool for air quality monitoring, we will be able to correlate some of these diseases to where they are coming from.
Now, residents of Kipsotet village, Kipchichim ward in Kericho are in shock following the death of their former member of county assembly who allegedly committed suicide.
Well, the lifeless body of the former MCA was found in his house shortly after receiving a call from an unknown caller.
Separately, two groups in Ikolomani constituency, Kakamega County, have clashed over mining activities. This and more stories in the County News Roundup.
Residents of Kipsotet village, Kipchimchim ward in Kericho County are in shock after their former member of county assembly committed suicide. It is believed the deceased received a call from an unknown person that left him distressed before retreating home from his farm and eventually hanged himself.
Mimi nilikuwa town, then I heard that our former area MCA amepass. Na sisi kama wanakijiji, we need tungetaka sana tujue the answers behind it. We are not sure of whatever happened.
In Kakamega County, two groups in the Kolomani constituency have clashed over how mining activity should be conducted. One group opposing the involvement of Shanta, a mining company that recently introduced new machinery to enhance mining operations. The group claims that Shanta began activities without adhering to proper procedures.
The Ministry of Mining akitokeze atuambie Shanta kama haina license, kwa sababu tunajua ya kwamba Shanta iko na license ya exploration.
Tuambia Shanta waende, sijui wamefika wakati gani, wameelewana na wakina nani, wameanzisha kufanya kazi.
Meanwhile, a section of Mbita residents in Omabe County has come together to support education in their community through a program dubbed Osodo Community Education Forum.
That the only way that their children can go to university and other colleges is to raise funds for them.
Finally, the African Institute for Health and Development, an NGO, has unveiled campaigns to combat bilharzia in the county.
Out of 60 wards, 22 wards ndio zilipatikana siko na bilharzia.
Parsai Frederick, Easy Friday.
All right, it's time to look at the culture across the country. We have this segment, we call it the My Culture. I absolutely love this one. And this week, we take you to Busia County, where a cultural treasure was discovered and gazetted as a national monument 10 years ago.
The Kakapel National Monument, located in Teso North, offers a rare glimpse into ancient human history and culture. Join us as we explore the monument, home to 4,000-year-old caves and ancient rock art that tell the stories of a bygone era.
4,000 is a long time.
Yeah.
It sits on a mountain in Teso North, Busia County, and is home to 3 ancient caves, each one steeped in the rich history of our ancestors. These caves are believed to date back 4,000 years based on archaeological evidence. Kakapel National Monument was gazetted by the Kenyan government in 2004. Inside the caves, the passage of time is frozen. Soot marks on the walls offer evidence that these ancient inhabitants could cook, surviving the harsh environment.
Caves have got evidence of life in them. One,
we have in Cave 1, we have soot on the wall of the rock shelter. We have pottery shards on the ground of the cave. We also have grinding stones which were excavated during archaeological excavations some time back.
A cross carved on the cave wall reveals that these early dwellers not only lived here but worshipped too, a spiritual practice that continues to this day with local visitors coming to the caves for prayer.
In Cave 3 we have a cross engraving. That cross engraving is not yet dated, but it attracts a lot of Christians to undertake their prayers in those caves.
The rock art is well preserved, intricate and stunning. These artistic renderings reveal that the Twa people revered the animals around them, paying homage to the natural world in ways that speak to their way of life.
Forms of animals, the cattle forms as you have just seen on the panel, those are some of the animals that were believed to be around this site. The elephant, the image of elephant is there, the giraffe is there. Probably those are the animals that were targeted during that time.
The caves also offer a sense of adventure for visitors. Even in daylight, darkness cloaks the interiors, adding a mysterious and thrilling atmosphere. For hiking enthusiasts, Kekapel is a dream come true. The steepy rocky trail lead up to stunning vistas. From the summit of this rugged terrain, one can get a clear view of Tororo Mountain, Mount Elgon and Bungoma, and the far-reaching landscapes of Malaba and Busia. The journey through the mountain is not just a physical adventure, but also a cultural one. Kekapel National Monument is more than just an archaeological site. It's a cultural heartland for the Teso community.
We have concentric circles believed to be done during the rain season. Others are done during the dry season. All to mean there was a period of rainmaking during that early time.
The site houses a museum showcasing traditional artifacts, preserving the community's heritage for generations to come. Schools, colleges and tourists from both Kenya and abroad frequent the monument, drawn to its unique combination of history, art and natural beauty. For the Teso people, Kekapel is a sacred site, a living monument that continues to hold spiritual and cultural significance. It serves as a reminder of their rich history and deep connection to the land, a heritage they continue to cherish and uphold.
We normally conduct a cultural festival every 26th of December, and which attracts a lot of crowd from different regions. Even within the boundary, we have our communities coming to see what the Tesos normally do.
Kekapel is not just a relic of the past, it's a vibrant cultural symbol that continues to attract and inspire. From ancient rock paintings to scenic hikes, this national monument offers a glimpse into a world thousands of years old, making it a must-visit destination for anyone seeking adventure, history, and a deeper understanding of our shared culture and heritage. Jackie Wambiru, My Culture.
Well, the marvel of the Kekapel National Monument. I always love the My Culture segment. Totally. Well done by Jackie Wambiru. That said, let's look at what's happening on the roads. And police in Kitui County are investigating an incident in which 6 school-going children were killed by a speeding vehicle at a shopping center on the Kitui-Kibwezi Road.
The 6 were knocked down by a probox while walking along the road pavement on their way to Kioni Primary and Secondary Schools.
3 of the dead are said to be siblings.
Meanwhile, 2 people died last evening at Kaburengu Trading Center in Kakamega County following a road accident along the Eldoret-Malaba Road. Telio Mako reports.
The residents of Chwani Shopping Center on the Kitui-Kibwezi Road are still mourning the deaths of the 6 learners who were knocked down by a probox car on Friday morning. Kitui County Traffic Commander Agnes Magiri says preliminary investigations indicate that the car was speeding at the time of the accident.
The accused person, who is the driver, who is supposed to be charged for the offense of causing death by dangerous driving, saying that this is an ingredient of speed even though the vehicle is not installed with a speed governor.
She also said the driver of the vehicle fled the scene before later surrendering to Mutomo police station, where he was detained and the vehicle impounded as investigations into the incident continue.
Fortunately, our police officers were out on duty and they were able to get the information from the members of the public who were just within the vicinity.
Imeelezwa na afisa mmoja ya kwamba hata ripoti imewafikia ya kwamba between Makele na huko Athi kuna around 11 black spots kwa hii barabara na hakuna hata moja imekuwa mat.
3 learners who are said to be from the same family belong to Choani Primary School, while the rest are students from Choani Secondary School. Meanwhile, the residents of Kaburengu Trading Center are still mourning the deaths of 2 people who died following a Thursday evening accident on the Eldoret-Malaba Road. According to eyewitnesses, the accident occurred after the driver of the trailer lost control while going down the Chimoi Hill. The trailer ran over a trader and a matatu driver at a bus stage in the trading center before ramming onto a stationary matatu, injuring 4 people before overturning.
Lori hiyo wakati ilikuwa imekata break, kuna ingine ilikuwa natoka chini. Sasa ikataka kuovertake ikashindwa. Driver wa Nissan alitaka kutoka kwa gari, wakati alitoka tu ikamchukua. Mwenye alikuwa mbele yake wanyanya tena ikamchukua.
Ifika jioni watu wafanyabiashara wanatoka huko ndani wanakuja kwa barabara juu ya mwangaza. Tuliambia county government kama wanataka kutusaidia watoe mwangaza watuwekee hapo ndani.
The injured ones were taken to the Webuye Level 4 hospital, while the bodies of the accident victims were moved to the hospital mortuary. Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
May their souls rest in peace. Moving on, services at county governments are set to be grounded after the County Government Workers Union issued a strike notice effective on the 24th of this month after they failed to reach a deal with their employers.
Well, the union, led by the secretary Robert Duba, expressed frustration over the withdrawal of a salary increase circular that initially applied to all public servants, only to be reinstated for national government employees, leaving county workers out.
According to the new structure, the lowest paid civil servant, whose current pay is 15,580 per month, has been increased to 16,920 Kenya shillings.
Consequently, if these demands are not met, all county government employees who include but not limited to the various categories, cadres of workers, that include revenue clerks, ECD teachers, firemen, enforcement officers, garbage collectors, environment staff, parking attendants, TVET instructors, mortuary attendants, ambulance attendants, shall down their tools by 24th September 2024, beginning midnight. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity.
All right, let's go a bit light on Easy Friday tonight. I usually do this when you look at the savage netizens and savage they can really be. Now on this week's episode of Savage Netizens, most keyboard warriors live by the phrase, and I'm sure you've heard this over and over again, catch flights and not feelings. However, this week I had the cipher surfers doing the exact opposite, catching feelings after getting stuck at Kenya's topmost airport for long hours.
The savage netizens reveled in the moment as chaotic scenes were streaming in nicely. Here now is tonight's issue of Savage Netizens, with Tess highlighting a week of Danny deal at JKIA and a fishy count in the Indian Ocean.
Danny deal
Yeah,
Danny deal. Yeah, that's how we say netizens.
Netizens had a lot to say after they found out the deal with JKIA was a done deal. So let's find out what they had to say.
Things seem to have boiled nicely for the drama-loving keyboard warriors after some travelers were left stranded at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport following a strike by airport workers.
You were not informed too, and continue.
Some savage netizens wondering if this was caused by a done deal, which further enraged the social media realm. Wewe land kama unataka was clearly the scenes at the JKIA flight control room since there was no landing or taking off.
There is God! There is God!
Bernard savagely let them trek to their respective destinations or take boda. Wow. Milan for the love of violence. Good stuff. Moses, who seems like he has never witnessed this before, wrote, I usually think people boarding planes are rich and they can't sit down on the floor. Kumbe, people are just pretending.
Say what? Will you keep quiet? Shy.
Philip, where are they running to? We need to suffer together. Tonui conclusively, Kenya should be taken back to factory settings.
Go and ask your grandfather.
But if you think netizens were hysterical over the JKIA and cases of a done deal, then they surely jumped from the pan straight into the depths of fire and decided to cook up the social media realm after they got word that approximately 1.6 billion shillings was used to count fish in the Indian Ocean.
They will not believe! They will not believe! They will not believe!
Elkins, shocked, asked, wait, is this real? Kevin, curiously, I would like to know the scientific method used to count fish in the Indian Ocean. Mshikadau, a fishy business indeed. David, ala, kwani samaki zilikuwa zinalipwa after kuhesabuliwa? Well, David, hold on as we are yet to find out what the pressure will do.
Extra pressure, baby, when you wind and pause. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy. Extra pressure, baby, when you wind and pause.
Well, that's it for us. Catch you next week on Savage Netizens. For Easy Friday, I am Teresa Mutai.
I had to put my life on pause and follow you where you're going. And if I make you my business, I suffer no loss.
Officially, the draw date ya multiplayer ni tarehe 6 mwezi wa Oktoba. Zidi kucheza, jaza tiketi zako ikiwa ni *570# option 400. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde!
Is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women in Kenya.
What cancer does is your normal cells grow and outgrow. They proliferate, grow really, really fast, you know. Imagine like when your tea is boiling and it just flames up. And that growth overwhelms the blood supply, so tissues begin to rot and fall off.
Welcome back to Easy Friday. Let's now delve into business matters. Kenyan professionals and skilled workers will no longer have to undertake a job market test to secure job opportunities in Germany.
Well, this follows the signing of the Kenya-Germany Migration Labour Agreement by President William Ruto in Berlin today.
President Ruto also presided over the signing of a memorandum of understanding for a pilot project for remote jobs between the Diaspora Placement Agency of the Kenyan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Hamburg Chamber of Commerce. Our very own colleague Regina Manyara is in Berlin and filed the following report.
Indicates that Europe's population is going to continue aging and shrinking until the year 2100. On the other hand, Kenya boasts of a vast human resource.
This is a gap that Kenya seeks to plug.
As an administration, Kenya is continuously becoming, as has been said ably, the Silicon Savannah, where technology and innovation and creativity is central to our development. You may want to remember that it is Kenya that introduced the mobile money transfer to the world.
The MOU between the Diaspora Placement Agency of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Hamburg Chamber of Commerce leverages technology to help solve the challenges eradicating downsides that typically go together with physical migration, including but not limited to the challenges of integration.
Watatumia hiyo experience kuanzisha makampuni ama kujaribu kusaidia Wakenya wengine kama mimi.
To further enhance skills transfer, President Ruto signed the Kenya-Germany Labour Migration Agreement that takes effect immediately.
Growing demand of skilled workers in Germany, particularly in the tech industry, presents an opportunity for collaboration with countries like Kenya, which boosts a young, educated workforce ready to contribute through remote work.
Both governments will work together to improve vocational education and training with a focus on developing skills and building capacity in dual vocational education and training.
Kenya, when you land here, the following day you can go to the office, you can go to a construction site and work.
Under the pact, Kenya and Germany will support the migration of skilled workers who have finished vocational training or earned a university degree as long as their qualifications are recognized by the relevant authorities of the other party, eliminating bridging courses.
The signing of these particular labor migration agreements comes at a time when various countries across Europe are tightening their migration policies, begging the question, is Kenya and Germany going to work on harmonizing those particular policies to give this agreement life? I'm Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Berlin, Germany.
Right now, experts in the ICT industry are calling for innovative, homegrown digital solutions to address Africa's ICT challenges. Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Margaret Ndongo, has called for collaborations to bridge the digital divide in the country.
Ndongo says there is need to enhance digital infrastructure for reliable connectivity, reduce costs and expand digital opportunities to ensure wider access across the continent.
In the last 2 years, the government has ramped up the automation of public services while expanding Kenya's fiber network through the rollout of the digital superhighway. This includes the installation of public Wi-Fi hotspots and digital village smart hubs, all aimed at promoting skills development. So far, the government has digitized 17,668 services, issued 1,576 digital signatures, installed 1,491 public Wi-Fi hotspots, and laid 4,229 kilometers of fiber optic cable. While unveiling the ICT Authority's strategic plan for the next 4 years, Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Margaret Ndongo, has committed to foster an environment that encourages growth and innovation.
We'll continue to streamline policies, invest in infrastructure, and ensure that the regulatory framework are in place that are conducive to both national and international investors.
We must find this as an opportunity for us to help
transform the lives of our people and to be a leader in Africa in leading the way in transforming lives.
ICT Authority CEO Stanley Kamanguya noted the high cost and resource demands of laying fiber optic cables. To address this, the authority has partnered with Kenya Power to lay an additional 5,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable. He added that the government will offer incentives and subsidies to encourage private sector participation in expanding the network.
As a government, we have already agreed that we cannot do this alone. So our objective is to have every home and every office and every institution that is connected to power grid to have also internet connectivity.
On artificial intelligence, Kamanguya acknowledged the challenges in regulation. He noted that an AI council has been established to set up guidelines and regulatory measures to govern the use of AI technologies.
It's our hope that this particular council is going to be anchored at the AU and then support, the rest of Africa to do that.
Wairi Mujenga for Easy Friday.
You can confirm.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has tasked coffee cooperative societies to promote transparency on financial management and governance.
Well, this comes amid heightened efforts to entrench efficient financial management practices. This is in the cooperative movement through legal, regulatory and policy reforms.
At the same time, the government has stepped up measures to comply with the European Union's zero deforestation law, which requires companies trading in coffee to conduct extensive diligence on the value chain to ensure the production of the crop does not originate from lands that have been deforested.
Well, Gachagua further highlighted the government's plan for full-scale lasting reforms informed by robust farmer engagements that will work to remove barriers hindering exports into overseas markets.
I have asked the Minister of Cooperatives and Minister of Agriculture to fast-track the administrative and legal actions to enhance corporate governance, transparency and accountability in cooperative societies. This includes direct payment to coffee farmers from the Direct Settlement System, DSS. For full disclosure, cooperative society must publish and make known their cost and deduction to their members. Through radical reforms in the various value chains, including coffee, tea, dairy, avocado, macadamia, among others. The government is aware of the challenges in the macadamia subsector. As we plan for full-scale lasting reforms, informed by robust farmer engagements, we are ready to discuss with processors and exporters on minimum returns equivalent to the farmer's sweat.
Moving on, plans are underway to increase the acreage under genetically modified cotton in the next planting season in a bid to increase animal feed production.
Well, Livestock Principal Secretary Jonathan Mweke says the government is banking on reducing the cost of animal feed in the country through increased cotton-linked production in the short term.
Kenya has been facing feed deficit over the past few years, with the government waiving duty on feed imports to stabilize animal feed prices. Last year, the government was forced to extend the duty waiver to February 2024 after feed importers failed to get their quota in the international market due to a global scarcity of soybeans and yellow maize.
The livestock sector, for instance, stands again to gain significantly from access to GM feed crops like corn and soybeans. Such advancements could enhance our feed processing capabilities and offer competitive advantages in both local and global markets.
This is expected to lower the cost of animal feed production due to low cost of animal feeds.
Reduces the cost of production by lowering the inputs. For example, for BT cotton, you lower the spraying from 12 sprays per season to just about 3 to 4. So you can imagine the amount of saving and the amount of residue or pesticides that you remove from the environment by reducing the number of sprays.
The government has been encouraged to craft more policies that will regulate the full rollout of GMO to make it accessible to small-scale farmers.
One of the most regulated products on earth, not because it is unsafe, but because it's new. But we are happy that it's being regulated in that manner so that when we release it to the public, they are sure of its safety.
The PS was speaking during the opening of a forum on agricultural biotechnology in Africa Media Awards. Benson Rioba reporting for Easy Friday.
Amazing.
Right now, the cooperative movement in the country has been urged to harness the potential by putting into new and lucrative avenues to boost earnings.
Cooperative Alliance of Kenya Chairman McLeod Malonza says despite controlling close to 1 trillion Kenya shillings worth of assets, the movement is yet to fully exploit new economic avenues such as real estate, retail and wholesale ventures, which largely remain unexploited.
According to the SACCO Supervision Annual Report 2023, released this week by the SACCO Societies Authority SASTRA, savings and credit cooperative societies harbor the largest proportion of the sector's assets, which amounted to 972 billion shillings, representing 6.43% of the national nominal gross domestic product.
But key aspect on it is what we call cross-selling. You have a member, that member is employed. But back at home, he has a butchery. Maybe he has a bar he's running, he has a salon, a business he's doing. Where are we banking? The issue is to ensure 100%, apart from the member itself, other activities he's doing, the side hustles, is also brought into. So that is the model we are looking for.
Cooperative Alliance of Kenya Chair McLeod Malonza is urging legislators to fast-track the adoption of the new cooperative bill that is currently in Parliament, saying it will change the SACCO's business operating model to enhance greater financial inclusion.
The new bill, which has gone the second reading, which is now almost being finalized, maybe by October it will be there, is also coming to change the business model of the SACCOs in terms of to ensure that we deepen further, to ensure we realize value for the members.
You need to know your member 360. So that you don't only support their core activity, but rather supporting ASOs that they do to ensure that you are fully banking that member and being the financial service provider of choice for the member.
This emerged during a 2-day workshop organized by the Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, where leaders were taught on how to align their SACCOs with current tools to help them navigate emerging risks in the sector. Nduta Mokami, for Easy Friday.
Mukami's report brings us to the end of the business news tonight. Right after this short break, we will be back with sports news. My colleague Wahome will be handling that.
Saw you. Yeah, I'm sure.
You really think you have everything figured out?
I'm not here for your speeches, Alice.
What I don't like about you is how you look down on women.
Hizo simu hamjamaliza kupiga. You should not be seen near or around J&J. Hello? Are you stupid enough to know that those guys are on my payroll?
Hey, Mom. Nani mwingine unatutivi kama vile unanitreat?
Aki, you're vulnerable.
Wachana na mimi. I'll pay you whatever you want.
I'm sorry, Alice. I'm not one that falls into one of the traps that you and your father have. Are you a real Njuguna?
What are you insinuating?
Call him.
What have you done, old man?
Introduced with good intentions, but turned out otherwise.
Hii mbegu ilikuwa tunafurahia kabisa tukiona kwa sababu hapa ilikuwa ni jangwa.
The invasive species that has turned into the proverbial poison apple.
It indicates that actually there were no studies that been done to show that it will later be problematic.
Join Sarafina Robi this Sunday as she unravels the dangers of this plant that has had even livestock move to court to seek justice. Dengue, the poison apple.
kichwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Friday Sport. We start with continental football where Kenya Police FC tactician Anthony Kimani says his charges are raring to go ahead of their first leg match of the CAF Confederation Cup second preliminary round against defending champions Zamalek tomorrow at the National Stadium. Egyptian giants Zamalek were given a bye in the preliminary round. Karanja David has the report.
The law enforcers secured their place in this critical second-round clash against Zamalek following a hard-fought 1-0 aggregate victory over Ethiopia's Kofi SA in the first round. Rashid Toha's decisive goal in the second leg paved the way for what is now one of the club's biggest matches in its history. Kenya Police FC coach Anthony Kimani said the mood is really positive and every player is ready to present the club.
We've had a good 2 weeks to prepare for this particular match since we played our last match against Ethiopian Coffee. The mood in camp is really positive. Every player is raring to go, and I'm pretty sure any of these players that gets an opportunity to represent us tomorrow will put his best foot forward and will ensure that we get a good result at home.
The showdown at Nyayo National Stadium will be a stunt test for Kenya Police FC as they face a side with a rich history and extensive experience in continental competition.
Certainly, every team around the world has got its strengths and its weaknesses, and Zamalek is not an exception. So we are well aware of the team that we'll be playing against. We know the quality that they have. We know the history that they have in this particular tournament. However, we also know that they've got a few weak points, and that is exactly what we'll be looking to exploit tomorrow in order to give us an advantage.
Acknowledging the strength of their opponents, Kimani remained optimistic about his team's chances against the reigning champions. Captain Musa Mohamed said they will highly depend on home ground advantage.
We need them na ni vizuri pia wakitoka kutusupport sababu saini it's all about the country, it's not about Kenya Police. So wa show up na watu support sababu bila hao you cannot do it.
Egyptian giants Zamalek were given a bye in the preliminary round.
Now, the Football Kenya Federation Premier League action will resume this weekend after the international break with 7 matches on the card. Sofapaka will face Talanta FC at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos. Nairobi City Stars and Bidco United play at the Dandora Stadium in one of the double headers at the venue, the other being Kariobangi Sharks against Tusker FC. On Sunday, Kakamega Homeboys will face Mathare United at the Mumia Sports Complex. Bandari FC host Mara Sugar at the Mombasa Sports Club. AFC Leopards will battle Posta Rangers at the Kenyatta Stadium in Machakos, while Muranga Seal will have a date with KCB at the SportPesa Arena in Muranga. AFC Leopards, Mara Sugar, Muranga Seal and Tusker occupy the top 4 positions with 3 points each.
Basi safari yake ya soka iko nzuri. Pale utenga pazuri. Anaupoteza Sebastian Sande. Anasa Gilbert Apala. Apala Gilbert! Gilbert Apala! Peni nzuri. Atafuta Aguero kisigino kitamu kweli.
Ile 1v1 dhidi ya mchezaji.
Beto anaileta ndani.
And Kenya women's 3x3 basketball team extended their poor run at the FIBA Under-23 World Cup after losing their last 2 group stage matches in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Following their losses of 21-4 to Poland and 21-5 to host Mongolia on Wednesday, the Kenyan team went down 21-11 to Israel and 21-8 to Germany in their last group matches played today. Following the loss, Kenya's hopes now turn to the men's team, who play the United States and Lithuania tomorrow. The men's team lost 21-12 to Latvia before registering a 16-11 win over Chile yesterday. Spouse of the Prime Cabinet Secretary Tessie Musalia has reiterated the government's commitment to helping people living with disabilities and giving them equal opportunities to represent the country in international sporting events. Meanwhile, Kenya will field 4 drafts players in the forthcoming World Drafts Qualifiers tournament set to be held from the 21st to the 28th of this month in Dusseldorf, Germany.
Speaking during the launch of a Mile for Good run to support children with cerebral palsy, spouse of the Prime Cabinet Secretary Tessie Musalia said the government is working closely with different partners to ensure creation of organizations targeting people living with disabilities.
Kenya has aligned its disability policies with global commitments such as the Sustainable Development Goals 3 and 10, which are on ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being for all, and on reducing inequalities.
Today's event holds special significance for Minet Kenya. We are proud to announce that thanks to the generosity and commitment of Minet and everyone here, the funds raised have allowed us today, I would announce, to double the number of children we sponsor through Cerebral Palsy Society of Kenya every year, from 30 to 60 every year.
Meanwhile, Kenya will field a total of 4 droughts players in the forthcoming World Qualifiers Droughts Tournament set to be held from 21st to 28th of this month in Germany. Kenya's top seed Crispin Odhiambo will lead the team comprising of Charles Musyoka, Stephen Owino and Danford Mwaboti.
Kuna players from 20 countries wenye watakuwa German. The best mwenye atakuwa number 1 German next year ataenda kucheza na world champion. Wataenda kuchezea US. So hii tuseme ni kama tunaweza isema kwa lugha ya mtaa ni kama mchujo.
The quartet will be aiming to bag this year's title after finishing 4th in the last year's edition.
This is the first tournament yenye nitacheza international. But according to kile chenye what I've gone through, naweza promise top I'll try hard nifike hapo to 15.
And finally, Kenya beach volleyball teams registered mixed results in the FIVB International Beach Tour in Burundi. Kenyan men's team beat Burundi 2-1 in their opening match, followed by a 2-0 loss to Hungary.
Next year, we shall have the team improve and also focus on the young ones for the preparation of both our All African Games, Olympics and Commonwealth.
The biggest idea of going to the circuit is all about gathering more points in early preparation for the Olympics.
For Easy Friday Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
And the Kenya under-20 men's football team, the Junior Stars, have been drawn in Group A for the upcoming under-20 AFCON CECAFA qualifiers. The qualifiers will take place in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania from the 6th of October to the 20th of this year. The finalists will secure qualification to the AFCON under-20 with the host nation yet to be determined. In Group A, Kenya will face Rwanda, Sudan, Djibouti and Tanzania. Group B comprises Uganda, South Sudan, Burundi and Ethiopia. The winners will qualify for the AFCON under-20 championship next year. Well, and still on matters, by the way, football, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, will be hosting their executive committee meeting in Nairobi on Monday. So that's a story that we're going to be looking at. On to athletics now, and the first of the 2 days of the final of the 2024 Diamond League season is taking place in Brussels, and this is at the Meeting Memorial Van Damme. So happening right now is the 3,000 meters steeplechase men. Just about 1.5 minutes of running remaining. But in the meantime, there are 2 races to look out for involving Kenyans. The women's 800 meters, where we've got Mary Moraa, and the men's 1,500 meters. Daniel Mwendwa can preview those 2 races that are coming up from 10:30 p.m.
Moraa has been on form from a victory at the Zurich Diamond League, where she finished first after clocking 1 minute 57.08 seconds ahead of Britain's Georgia Bell and the USA's Addison Willey, who completed the podium positions. Before Zurich, Moraa had smashed the 600 meters world record at the East of Berlin meet, clocking 1 minute 21.63 seconds to outdo the previous Caster Semenya's record of 1 minute 21.77 seconds. Moraa boasts 31 points, joint with Britain's Gemma Reiki from her 4 league meetings, whereas Reiki has competed in 5. Meanwhile, 2020 Tokyo Olympic silver medalist Timothy Cheruiyot, 2023 African champion Brian Komen, 2022 World Under-20 champion Reynold Cheruiyot, and Boaz Kiprogot will feature in the men's 1500 meters. Kenyans have found it hard to secure victories in the Diamond League, with the last win at the Doha Diamond League, where Kenya took the first 3 positions.
Well, so those are the events that are coming up from 10:30 p.m. Well, going on right now, and I'm just keeping an eye on that, is the 3,000 meters steeplechase final, and it's a battle between Soufiane El Bakkali and Emo Serem. But so far results, Jamaican Kim Blake has won the 100 meters final, 9.93 seconds. American Valerie Ullman has won the discus throw women, 68.47 meters her effort. Dominican Republic's Marilady Paulino has won the women's 400 meters, 49.45 seconds. Sasha Zoya of France has won the 100 meters hurdles, 13.16 seconds. And then we've got Berihu Aregawi of Ethiopia winning the 5,000 meters, 12 minutes, 43.66 seconds. Nicholas Kipkorir finished in 5th place, 12 minutes of 49.59 seconds. And the news coming through right now, the men's 3,000 meters steeplechase. Emo Serem has won in 8 minutes, 6.9 seconds. He has beaten world and Olympic champion Soufiane El Bakkali, who has finished second in 8 minutes, 8.6 seconds. A big win for Emo Serem, stopping, the man everyone thought to be unstoppable, Soufiane El Bakkali. And the women's 100 meters has been won by Santa Lucia's Julian Alfred in 10.88 seconds. The second day of the Diamond League final is on tomorrow night, so we can look for the full results and the review of it on Sunday. But tomorrow we'll be giving you a full review of that, including the women's 800 meters and the men's 1,500 meters. And remember, tomorrow, support the Cops. They're up against Zamalek. On Sunday, Gor Mahia against Al Ahly. It's rare that you have Zamalek and Ahly away from Cairo the same weekend. It's happening right here in Nairobi. My name is Daniel Wahome. Back to John Kago and Caren Kibbett.
All right, and thank you so much, DW. Daniel Wahome for that sporting update. Well, much appreciated, and that brings the cup to Easy Friday. At least the news beat of it. So Easy Friday is not yet done. We've got more lined up for you, giving you details in a bit. But Caren Kibbett, your debut Easy Friday tonight. How are you feeling? I hope you enjoyed that tonight.
Yes, thank you so much for making me feel comfortable on my first day of anchoring the Easy Friday Bulletin.
Yeah.
Your support has definitely helped me ease into the role. And I'll be seeing you every Friday, and together we will be keeping our viewers up to speed with what's happening in the world. Thank you so much, Kago. I appreciate it.
Absolutely welcome. I was just going through your socials and lots of comments in there. I'll just read just but a few. Our colleague Wanjiru Bogwa says, I'm the happiest tonight. Happy to see you here. Here's to new beginnings. I've seen a comment by Ray Manyara. I think congratulations. I've never been happier. One of our colleagues in the media industry, that's Nick Mudiba, with some love hearts in there. Kenny Jungu as well, saying welly nice. Others like Reese Kaiser saying the best move. Lots of congratulatory messages coming in. Welcome in to Easy Friday, Caren.
Thank you so much, Kago.
Absolutely. Well, on the other side of the studio is none other than DJ Cole Jux with the best music for you tonight, taking you way back, new school, old school, those dance music that you absolutely love. You need not go anywhere else. Many thanks for tuning in. My name is John Kago. Good night. So long.
Our sign language interpreter was Brian Moraru. My name is Caren Kibbett. Have yourself a peaceful night. We'll see you next Friday. Good night.
Good night.
kila saa ni mpira tena inauma analia. Hata wakati anaanza kulia, hata mimi siwezi lala hata usiku. Na hii mpira ikianza kuuma, hata hakuna kitu naweza fanya. Ninaomba tu mnisaidie kwa neema ya Mungu. Tumana Mungu ni alinipatia Paulo. Natakana kama fea kwenda kurudi. Sasa hiyo sina fea. Sasa mimi nakaa tu kwa nyumba. Na sina kazi.
Kaya musha. It is always a good time on Bridge over Congo.
Catch us every Saturday from